Hey guys, welcome back to another wine chat. I've got a special guest tonight and we're gonna have some fun with this one. So like always, I always show what wine I'm drinking. So the wine tonight is Gentleman's Collection, which is perfect since we've got a gentleman here. We've got our glasses of wine and we taste it too.
Oh.
We taste it together. Oh. He refused to use this cup.
Look at this. You got a handle.
It'll grow in me.
What?
Okay, and then I show what I'm like wearing because usually I'm wearing like a cute graphic tee. So in honor of tonight's video, I am wearing Missouri. What does it say? Squatch Watch? What? Is that what it says? That's what it says.
Say it again.
Squatch Watch.
Squatch.
What?
I'm wearing a foot bag. A foot bag right here.
Okay.
World champion foot bag.
Down.
Seek and hide champ.
Take a seat, babe.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so David wanted to do this wine chat. It was his idea, and he wants to talk about Bigfoot and Area 51 and
aliens
and flat Earth. So we're gonna start with flat Earth.
Whoa.
What? That's the one we're gonna start with.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know anything about flat Earth, guys. I didn't even know it was a thing. David has been watching all this stuff on it. He's obsessed.
So many dumb shows on it.
Okay, first question. Do you believe that the Earth is flat?
Like 90% no.
90%?
Pretty sure no.
Okay. Okay, so tell me, what is this flat Earth? Why do people think...
Okay, wait. And we can pause this, right?
Where are you going? Oh, you're getting a prop?
Yeah, prop. Alright. So the way I understand it...
You gotta sit down, they can't see you over there.
So the way I understand it, there's a couple different theories. Well, there's a lot of different theories, but some of the main theories on this are that the Earth is obviously flat, and we're kind of in the center of this disc. And the South Pole is basically around all the continents. So instead of being at the bottom of the globe, it's a giant ice wall around this flat disc, and all the continents are in the middle.
Okay. So can't we just solve this real quick by going into space and seeing that the Earth is round in every movie and every...
Right. So, no. Sort of. So if you ask a flat earther, they would say that it's CGI. Just like any movie. So if you watch Armageddon, they have a giant asteroid and they blow it up. Obviously there's no such thing as a giant asteroid that they're blowing up, and they didn't have a space shuttle go. But if you look at the movie, they're like, oh, look, there's an asteroid. They're on it. It's just like that with CGI for Earth is what they're saying. So they're saying when we went and we filmed the moon, the moon landing, or when we filmed from outer space, it's
or
just...
Nevada.
What?
Don't some people think they just took the picture in Nevada?
They think that they took the picture... Right. No, not in Nevada, I don't think. I think it's California.
Oh.
But yeah, in a film studio in California. And it has nothing to do with the moon. Which is why and that's a whole nother conspiracy, the moon landing. And things like, why are the flag waving on the moon when there's no wind? That doesn't make sense.
So these people are diehard. They think the Earth is flat.
Right, so they think the Earth is flat. They're 100% sure of this. They basically have several different theories. Their main point is that we cannot prove, it's not flat. We think, well, this is our idea. Somebody came up with it a long time ago. It's a globe. Obviously, so just because you think it's a globe doesn't mean it's a globe.
Did
How do we
they-
prove it? Have you ever been to space? Is, kind of their main argument. Have you been to space? Have you seen it's a globe?
Maybe
And
some
no.
of my viewers have been to space.
Well, right, and so they say these, like astronauts, like Neil Armstrong,
Yeah.
they basically say that the government is, using a conspiracy. He's never been to space. They basically just paid him off to say, hey, I've been to space, I've seen it, and he's never been there. So it's really kind of interesting. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities that believe in it. Kyle Irving. I think there's a couple others. I don't know.
The Kardashians, are they into it?
Sure. No, I don't think so.
Kanye West, he probably is.
I don't know.
Okay, so do they think other planets are round?
Right, and so that's the weird part. There's different theories on that. Some of them do. Some of them think that we're on a disk and some of the other planets are round. Some of the other theories are that, so instead of just being a disk, it's almost like a snow globe. So there's a dome on top, and the bottom is flat, and it's kind of like a giant petri dish. And the idea behind that is that we're suspended in some sort of liquid, which is why the sky is blue. And the sun is not way, way millions and millions of miles away. I believe it's 3,000 miles away. And it's just an illusion off the dome. It's a light. So basically, we're just some experiment in this theory.
Do they think that the Earth rotates like this still? Like flat, rotating?
I don't know.
They don't know if it rotates still?
Some of them probably do, some of them probably don't.
Okay. Let me know what you guys think. Alright. Bigfoot or aliens? Which one next?
Let's do Bigfoot last.
Okay, you're supposed to drink the wine while you chat, so it's like...
I feel like you haven't hardly weighed in.
Huh? I haven't what?
Weighed in on it.
On the flat Earth?
On the whole thing, the whole video.
What do you mean, weighed in?
You haven't spoken enough.
I'm asking questions, because I'm...
Okay.
Okay, do I believe that it's flat? Is that what you're asking? No, I don't. I think it's round. Okay, next topic is aliens. I was like, I don't believe in aliens until I met David, and then he like pulls out all these really good theories and like excuses, and so then I'm like, unsure. Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of good theories on that as well. Some of the top theories is basically, it's almost impossible that there wouldn't be intelligent life somewhere else. If we have millions of different galaxies, different planets that can support life, how could there not be any other life? I mean, are we just that full of ourselves that we think we're the only people that could possibly ever survive, only intelligent form? There's other theories that say, civilizations basically only last so long, as in, yeah, we're intelligent right now, but things like global warming are going to wipe us out maybe in 1,000 years, which is really long to us. But if you think about it in terms of like a universe, the intelligent life, 3,000 years is like that. So, yeah, maybe there are different alien civilizations, but they don't overlap. They don't occur at the same time. There's other theories that basically say, the government does know about it. They're covering it up.
I do think that, for sure.
Like Area 51. And I just watched a really good documentary.
Tell them what it is. They probably want to know. If you don't remember it, I can put it down below.
Can't think of the name.
Okay, I'll write it right here.
Link it down below, yeah. So a little bit about it. I mean, it was really interesting. It's on Netflix. There's this scientist named Bob who claims he went to MIT and
Claims he went to MIT, or he went to MIT?
He claims he went to MIT.
Oh, okay.
The issue is that the government has completely wiped out his, basically his background. So he doesn't have a background at this point. So his former jobs, his education, they all claim that he was not there. So on this show, they basically do a bunch of research, and they call his former job, and they say, no, we don't know this person. This person never worked here. And it was in the government. It was something to do with the army. But anyway, after doing research, they actually find his name in a book for this job, and he did work there. So the government's saying, no, he never worked here. We don't know who this is. And there's proof. His name's printed. They showed it.
That's shady.
On a book that says, he worked there. Mm-hmm. He worked on this, whatever project. So anyway, his name's Bob Lazar. He is basically claiming that he worked near Area 51, not on it, but a base very close to it, back in 1989. And he is saying that he saw basically his job was to try to figure out how a propulsion system worked that was an anti-gravity propulsion system for his spaceship. And they had 9 spaceships. Some were functioning, some were not. I think he said 3 were. And he would basically try to figure out how this worked, and they figured out it was from element 151.
Okay, because the last night you were saying it was 115, now you're saying it's 151, and then you said no.
115. It's 115.
Because 151 is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been drinking again. So yeah, it's element 115, which is a radioactive element that supposedly doesn't exist. At this time, they say it's impossible. There's no way we could possibly exist. And then later we find out that it does exist. Years later. So when he made this claim in 1989, they said, no, it's not possible. And at this point, it is possible. Now it is. It's a real thing. So there's a lot of interesting things that happen in that. If you know, like WikiLeaks, and a lot of things that got unleashed from the government. Some of the things that he was saying, like hand scanners that were supposed to be just impossible technology to measure the bones in your finger, the density and length of the bones in your finger. That's how they identified people to get in. They said, no, that's impossible. It doesn't exist. We don't have that technology. And when these documents were then later published to the public, they were there. It's exactly what he said. So there's a lot of interesting things. I mean, he could just be totally making this up.
I believe it.
Why would he? Yeah. It ruined his life. I mean, he's got a wife. He was basically, he was shot at in his car. People threatened his life. He had to, he had to move. He had to find a totally different life, start a new job, because of these claims.
That's crazy. And I feel like the government has a lot of technology and a lot of things that they don't tell the public about, obviously. Like, that's crazy, though, to think about.
Yeah, so he never saw any aliens. He never said he did.
But they were trying to get him to recreate a alien spaceship that they found, right?
They were trying to get him to recreate the technology, the propulsion system that powered this spaceship. So instead of we use rockets for, to get to the moon. I guess if you believe that now. So, we use rockets, propulsion systems, kind of like a firework or whatever. They don't do that. The technology that they're saying they have would basically create a void. And the example he used is if you put a bowling ball on a bed, instead of pushing the bowling ball, you put your hand down on the bed and the bowling ball is going to roll to it. So you're being sucked to where you need to go instead of being pushed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me know if you guys believe in aliens also. I think I do. Okay. Last one.
Whew.
Bigfoot!
Big one.
Okay, what do you want to say? David's a hard, firm believer in Bigfoot.
Yeah,
He's had a Bigfoot sighting.
This one, well, it's the only one I'm sure of.
Yeah.
Although, we haven't seen or heard anything in years, but the difference is, when we first moved here, nobody else lived here. There was nobody around us
That's
at
true,
all.
yeah. There's been a lot of new homes built.
There was wolves along our fence.
Oh, yeah.
There was bear sightings. I mean, and now all of a sudden they built a bunch of houses. There's more people here. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen any wolves. We don't barely hear the coyotes anymore.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, if you watch this channel, you've seen our backyard.
Yeah.
That's the Mark Twain National Forest. So it's just all free land back there. Nothing's back there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the starting point of this.
Who came out here? What are they called? That TV show?
Oh,
Finding Bigfoot?
Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah, Finding Bigfoot came out
with Bobo
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're a pretty hot spot for Bigfoots. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's one thing that David told me that was like, because obviously, again, I was like, I don't believe in Bigfoot. And then he, kind of, convinces me. So, I feel like you said something like, don't they find how many how many species, that we don't even know about that they're constantly finding every year or something crazy like that? And I was like...
I don't remember the statistic, but, I mean...
And the ocean especially, right?
Right. So, yeah, I mean, new species, even large species, are still found every year. I mean, different species of monkey that we never thought existed. There's all sorts of different, obviously, bugs and reptiles and frogs. So
that's crazy, that there's species we don't even know exist that have been existing.
We think we know everything. We're like, all right, here's what there is. But each year we're like, oh, but there's more.
Yeah, and then I think the biggest thing is why would there be so many stories on this one creature if he didn't exist from all over the world?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
but why has nobody seen him?
Stuff.
Except for you.
Well, a lot of people.
But why has nobody had proof of him?
Well, no. There's been videos and pictures, but people say, oh, it's fake.
Yeah. I know. So it's just that's the thing is I want to see actual and do you think the government knows and is just or you think they don't know?
I almost think that it has to be some sort of paradox or something they say there's alternate realities and alternate universes. I almost wonder if Bigfoot's a creature that can cross over something.
Oh gosh, you're getting way too deep for me.
Well, because that's kind of the point of why do we not have physical proof?
Yeah.
Why do we not have bodies of Bigfoot? It doesn't. That part doesn't make sense.
Because when they die, we should have bones.
We should have bones.
Yeah.
So why don't we have bones? That's the weird part.
Yeah. Okay, so tell them about your sighting. We've got just a few minutes left here on this episode.
All right. Well.
What?
You were there.
I know, but it was so long ago, and I feel like...
It was so long ago.
I'm a supportive wife, but at the same time, I'm like, did you really see him, honey?
I think.
Okay, tell your story. I was taking a nap.
We were both taking a nap.
Okay.
We were both laying upstairs. This is a long time ago. This is before we had kids. We used to take naps.
Ago. Yeah. We don't take naps anymore.
And we started hearing this, chuffing noise.
Chuff, chuff. How do you make a chuffing noise? Make the chuffing noise.
Oh, gosh, I can't.
Ooh!
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it sounded kind of like a horse.
There's horses.
Like that.
Down there, right? So we thought it was horses.
Yeah. So there's been horses down there, so we thought, oh, a horse got out, no big deal.
Yeah.
But it was really loud, to the point where we're in our bedroom.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
Disturbing us from our nap.
God forbid. We can't get that afternoon nap in.
So anyway, I was like, I guess I'll go check it out. I want to go see this horse. Not like, hey, I want to go find Bigfoot. That was, So anyway, I'm out there. I'm trying to find this horse. I'm looking. I kind of hear something moving around, and from this tree, you got to put a picture of the tree there. I just see this big head kind of lean out, and
that's creepy AF.
Yeah, it was, and it was kind of dark, but not. It wasn't dark out. It was like twilight, and so I couldn't really see it that well, and it's probably 150, 200 yards away. So you're kind of like, well, what is that? And I'm up on the top deck looking down, and I'm like, I can't tell what that is.
Were the dogs outside?
The dogs, yeah, that was kind of a weird part of it. So the dogs, obviously, if it was a horse or something or any sort of animal, they're just barking their heads off. They're going crazy. They're like, look at this, I see something.
Like,
woof,
usually
woof,
they
woof,
would
woof,
be.
right.
But this time they weren't.
So yeah, they're all three up against the fence, looking out, exactly where I'm looking at this tree, and their tails are just between their legs. They're not making a noise, their ears are like sad, they look terrified. And it wasn't adding up. I was like, that's not a horse. And the more I kept looking at it, I realized that's like 10 feet off the ground. That doesn't make any sense. And as I start to realize what I'm looking at, and it's still not really registering at this point, I'm like, is that a Bigfoot? We've heard all these weird noises at this point. I liked the idea, but I didn't really believe. I was like, oh, that's a fun idea. And seeing this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm looking at. So I run inside, I grab my phone, and I grab a headlamp, because it's kind of dark, and I run back out through the downstairs, and I think I was screaming, like, Clarissa, get up, I see Bigfoot, or something.
I'm going back to bed.
She didn't get up. And I run out to the fence with, where the dogs are standing, because they're standing, kind of as close as they can get, looking at it at that angle, and it just takes off from behind the tree, and it's just knocking trees over, brush over, and you can hear it. Literally, like, just stomping the ground. It wasn't a horse. After all the sounds I heard, I thought, oh, at first it was a horse. A horse would be cha-chump, cha-chump, cha-chump. Mm-hmm. It was 2 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've seen a lot of things, like you saw like that carcass and just like a lot.
Right, so yeah, we went out, me and my friend Will did, and we looked down there and we saw this grass area that was bedded into a circle, and maybe 20 feet away there's a deer carcass with a broken leg, a clean snap broken leg that had been eaten. And that was maybe half a mile away from the house.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, used to be, I feel like, yeah, you're right, there has not really been anymore, but there used to be a lot of evidence and weird things, a lot of noises. My mom even swears that she heard Bigfoot.
There was rocks thrown up on the deck one time.
She even called.
There was...
The girls are like right there.
There was the whistling noises we heard. There was the weird monkey howling we heard.
Yeah.
It just did, nothing added up. There's nothing else that
and
makes
a lot of
noises.
times, yeah, David said that Bigfoot will mimic noises.
Right. So to communicate with each other, one of the things they're supposedly supposed to do is mimic other animals. Mm-hmm. But obviously it's not going to sound exactly the same. So that's kind of our theory on why was it making a chuffing sound like a horse?
Right. Because it was trying to mimic the noise of the horse. But super weird, super strange. I just want proof, but I do think and that's the thing, like we're so like naive. We're like, oh, we know everything. Science,
right.
the government,
I mean, if you go back
we know
100
everything.
Years,
They tell
you're
us
like,
everything.
I get it. I
Right.
know everything.
And
but you know what? 100 years from now,
people
they're
will
gonna say,
they'll be watching
"Look at
this
those
video
fools
and they'll be like,
who thought, oh, there's no such thing.
right, like there's so many things that we don't know.
We don't know it.
And there was something even specific, I don't remember what it was, but you were like, how many years ago did they just find like the whale or like the...
Oh, it was gorillas.
Oh, gorillas?
Yeah, it was maybe 100 years ago. I mean, everybody thought it was just a total myth. They said there's no such thing, that doesn't exist.
So, yes.
Because they're deep in a forest. I mean, it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
So indigenous people said, yes, it exists, but, you know, settlers said, no, there's no such thing as an 8-foot tall, 300-pound monkey. It doesn't exist. Well, it did. We figured it out.
So.
Now they're in zoos.
Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed chatting with David about some little, are they conspiracy theories? I don't know.
Pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you're into that kind of thing, let us know because he loves that kind of stuff and it's really fun to kind of talk about and think about and kind of spooky too. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and as always, I will see you in my next video. Cheers, babe.